Going into this season of Egg, I had a bit of a different idea for how I wanted to draft. Based off the last few drafts I've done, I'd realised that basically there are a lot more sort of top metagame threats, wall breakers and sweepers. Too many really to go around. There's so much offense now that I think picking just like a really expensive wall breaker round one isn't really worth doing anymore. So with that in mind, I decided to try and pick up some utility first, knowing that some powerful wall breakers would fall to us later on as powerful sweepers, stuff like that. So kicking us off, round one, I decided to pick up Donphan. Donphan gives us rapid spin, it gives us stealth rocks, it gives us nice priority and ice shard, it gives us knockoff. So again, talking about that utility, I can't think of a single other ground type that gets access to rapid spin and stealth rocks. So it was really like a unique Pokemon that I just knew there'd be no replacements for if it was sniped. Then going into round two, I decided to pick up Girafarig. Girafarig is one of the best Wish passes in the game, getting access to Wish plus Baton Pass. So Donphan doesn't get reliable recovery, but now we have a way of healing up our Donphan. So not only will we be able to get rocks up and then get them down with rapid spin, but we'll be able to do it multiple times a game, which seems really, really important. I don't think there's a clear way around hazards in this metagame that I know of, so yeah, getting a good hazard setter and something to support that just seemed a really, really strong start to the draft. Round three, I started to get a little bit twitchy and a little bit nervous that maybe some of those top threats might not fall. So I went for one that I know is unanimously loved by everyone that plays Pokemon and was really surprised to see it last to round three, and that is Terrakion. Terrakion's fighting plus rock stab, like that kind of coverage, very few things take it on. Palisand, Claydol, and then you can just Mega Horn that thing. So yeah, I just really felt like this thing, forever, everyone knows it, it's just one of the best top sort of metagame threats. So yeah, I just picked it up round three because I couldn't believe it had lasted that long, and I thought, I don't want to miss out totally on the good wall breakers. Following up that round four, I picked up Zarude. I've never tried this thing before, but I wanted a dark type. It supported Terrakion really well, being able to come in on those psychic types for it, having a full immunity, and then being able to pivot out with U-turn. I'm not really sure. In my head, it's going to play a bit like a sort of nerfed Whimsicott, a grass type that I can throw in and U-turn with, but I don't know. I don't think it can ever be as good as Whimsy. Round five, I really was thinking back to how I started this draft, getting that good hazard setter early, and I thought, I need more of that. Donphan, yes, it can set hazards, but as I've already said, it can remove them as well. So maybe something that is a pure hazard setter, so that Donphan won't have 4 move slot syndrome every week, is a good idea. So I picked up Mudsdale this round. And, Mudsdale's a horse. I could ride on its back. I could ride on Donphan's back, that's an elephant. I could ride on Girafarig's back, that's a giraffe. I could ride on Terrakion's back, that's a bear. And I could ride on Zarude's back because it's a giant ape with a cape, and I have often been compared to capes. So, I could ride on Zarude's back and Mudsdale's back. So now I've got a team that can quite literally carry me to playoffs. But anyway, moving on from that, I did want to start picking up some of the offense, and I said some top meta threats would fall. So one of those, and I couldn't believe this was still around, every good draft has an amazing dragon type. So we picked up Turtonator. With access to Shell Smash plus Z moves, this thing is crazy. I mean, I Shell Smash up, Firium Z, Grassium Z Solar Beam for bulky waters, Steelium Z Heavy Slam. He's a very big turtle for fairies. It's an exceptional Pokemon, lots of coverage. I'm not sure I could ride on its back because it's quite spiny, but I think I could sit on its head. Right? It depends how big it is. How big is a Turtonator? Maybe if I had a Totem Turtonator, which obviously is very relevant right now in the metagame. Totem Pokemon are everywhere. So, yeah, maybe with a Totem Turtonator, I could sit on its head and ride that to playoffs too. Anyway, as you see, we started getting what I think people now call the mythical core with a dragon. So I wanted to pick up the next part of that with our steel type, and we picked up Cobalion. Now, if there's anything One Piece has taught me, and I have been watching One Piece for about 3 years now, I don't know. I can only watch it with Katie, and she doesn't want to watch it every day, so we're making very slow progress. We're in 1-0. We'll get there eventually. It's been a long time. But if there's anything One Piece has taught me, it's that the more swords you have, the stronger you are, right? Zoro puts a sword in his mouth because it makes him stronger. I don't know, but it seemed like a good idea. So I picked up another Sword of Justice in Cobalion. Partners really well with Terrakion because now I have a sword in my left hand, a sword in my right hand, and 2 bears that I can ride, which is an important part of drafting. Cobalion gives me another hazard setter, but it is different to Donphan and Mudsdale because it also gets Volt Switch, and that just seemed, I don't know, that seemed really important. On this team right now, I had Zarude with U-turn, but no other form of momentum, so getting up that momentum was pretty handy. And like I say, Donphan was a round 1 pick, so we really don't want to force it to be the Stealth Rocket every week, even though we did draft it purely for its utility. You understand. I'm sure you understand. You understand. Then we wanted to round off that mythical core. I say we. As you can probably tell, no one helped me with this draft because no one else would see the vision. So we picked up Impidimp. I've forgotten what round we're on, but we picked up Impidimp. And Impidimp is a fairy type, which seemed really important to the team. And also British. Like, canonically British. And I'm from Lincolnshire, and Lincolnshire's mascot is an imp. So I think that it will get a +1 in every stat, like an Omni boost, for like home field advantage. You know what I mean? For the fact that we're both British, for the fact that we're both from Lincolnshire, from the fact that we're both extremely tall. These just all seem like things that will go in our favour. So yeah, having an Omni boosted Impidimp with a Violite, if you run it with an Eviolite and a Choice Band at the same time, it's actually bulkier and stronger than Grimmsnarl. Probably than G-Max Grimmsnarl. So yeah, people forget about that, but it is pretty important. And again, if it was a Totem Impidimp, I'm pretty sure I could ride on its back, which I don't know if I'd want to. It depends what shampoo it uses. If it uses a nice scented shampoo, maybe. Then with our kind of penultimate pick here, I wanted to get one more Wall Breaker. Like I said, I knew some Wall Breakers would fall. We've got plenty of support, mons, utility, hazards, pivots. It's all looking really, really nice. So I wanted to get a Wall Breaker, but ideally one of these Wall Breakers that can also pivot. So, you know, you think of your Scissors, you click Banded U-turn, your Whimsicots, you know, you click Moonblast, you do 90% something, and then you U-turn out. Those kind of mons. So I went for Basculin because I think, you know, adaptability, Banded, Flip Turn, and Waterfall, I guess, I don't know, hits really, really hard. And the nice thing about Basculin is that it has different stripes, so it's a bit like one of those funny like mood rings, if anybody's old enough to remember those, where like they change colour to say what mood you're in. I figured like I would bring like a red stripe to games when I'm just like really angry, and then you guys would all know, oh shit, he's in a bad mood. And I'll bring the blue stripe, or whatever the other stripe is, green. I don't know. I'll bring the other stripe to games where I feel calm, unless it's like orange, which then wouldn't be very calm. I need to do my research into Basculin's stripes, but you get the idea. Look at its stripes to try and figure out what mood I'm in, like a mood ring is the point, and a Wall Breaker and a pivot. Excellent mon. We didn't have a water type yet, so that rounds out our Firewater Grass Core alongside Zarude and Turtonator, so you know, real thought went into this team. And then the final pick. Every team needs a mascot, and every mascot should be a dog. Because if there's anything I know, it's that dogs are the best. Click on my shorts, you will see a fantastic dog eating a donut, being in a box, all sorts of things that dogs do, that dogs are famous for. So we picked up Growlithe, because is there a more kind of iconic dog in Pokemon than Growlithe? It is the dog Pokemon. And dogs are dogs, which means that dog and dog and dogging. Are we dogging? I think we're dogging now. Oh shit, we're dogging. We're dogging. Are we dogging?